Hello, in this video I am going to show you how to do a drop down button. So a drop down button is like a regular button. You click on it, it provides you a list of options that you can select. They're great for concealing, information. Instead of having everything on the screen, which can, make it cluttered. Sometimes it's just not practical, physically to put everything on the screen. So drop down buttons are a great way of alleviating this issue. So first of all, what we're going to need to do is create a string. We'll do it here, where the other variables are, or the variable I should say. So string, and this is going to be called dropdown str equals movies. So I'm just going to have a list of movies. And what we are going to do now in here, so you just add it as, like a child, as you normally would. So child drop down button. And before all of that, we need to specify, the data type of what it's going to be containing, which is string. And the items and onChanged, we'll be dealing with all of that in a second. So put down a new line. So for the actual items, actually I want to do a slightly different order. So I'm going to have value first, which is going to be the default value, and that is going to be drop down str, and we're going to have onChanged. So when the user opens up the drop down button, changes it to one of the other items, we need to handle that accordingly. And it's going to be a method that basically accepts the new value as a string. And then what we are going to do here, this indentation will be all over the place. So in here, we are going to say set state. This is a built-in method, so you don't need to worry about anything about this. So essentially when the state changes, and when you select another item in the list, we're going to say drop down str equals new value. So this, updates it, so it actually shows that it's highlighted it. If you don't do anything else when you change it, other than that, maybe you do want to do some other changes, because the drop down might allow you to select an item. If it's movies, for example, maybe it's the movie that you're going to watch, and then you click a play button. So the actual change isn't really reflected until you press another button, trigger some other action. But if you want something else to happen, you do it here, and you can check what the new value is to handle it accordingly. Now that we've done onChanged, we're going to basically add our items. So we say items, and these are going to be a list of string items, and we just put what we want in there. So I'm going to say Batman Begins. So I'm simply going to just put the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, and it's going to be Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises. Okay, so what we need to do now is let me indent it, map, and angle bracket, drop down menu item, string, and string value. So this is essentially, again, what's being selected, and we'll be returning this very shortly. I need to put here. We put .toList. We're gonna make sure we put that, and inside of here we just put return drop down menu item string, and the last thing is in here. We just need to set the value, which will be value, which this value is the property, this value is what's being passed in here. Then we set the child, so the child gets updated to text value. It could be an image if you want to, so you don't have to have just text widgets in there. As an extra task, I recommend experimenting putting images instead of text. And then we need a semicolon here, and we're ready to run now. So if we run it, I'm not doing a hot reload, and I'll explain that in a second. Oh yeah, I've got a new version of Flutter to install. I'll do that sometime. So it's just initializing Gradle. I've got the simulator already open, by the way. Obviously make sure you've got that open or a device connected. Okay, so installing the APK, so it should launch up any moment now. So it's installing the APK. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're getting a little error. So what's the error referring to? So let's have a quick look. Make sure we got everything correctly. So .toList, child, text value, value, return, drop down menu item, .map, drop down menu item, string value. Looking all good so far. Then items, string. Then the strings themselves. We've got onChain, string, new value, set state. Okay, actually, I remember having an issue with this, but this needed to be outside, I believe. And let's run it again from scratch, because I've had issues like this with the drop down button, that it for some reason doesn't like hot reload. So bear that in mind. So if you are dealing with drop down buttons and you get issues, have a look at it and make sure, you know, it might be related to the fact that you're trying to hot reload it. I know it takes a little bit longer to do the compilation, but it seems to be with certain widgets, hot reload doesn't really work well. Obviously with images is another one, because it needs to update the assets. And again, still the same thing. I just want to try one more thing. Put that here. So run that again. So again, let's just, while it's running, we'll try and compiling it. Let me just go through all the code. So drop down button string, that's looking fine. Value is drop down str. On change string new value. Set state drop down str equal new value. Okay, so far so good. Items colon string. I can't see any issues with this line. .map drop down menu item. String value. Return the drop down menu item of a string. Value. Oh, there we go. Okay, so those, bear in mind you need to have the same name as the first item. My bad, made a mistake there. So if I click on it, we get the item, and that's it. And obviously, let's say if we had another button, like a play button, recommend you do that. Add another button. You can say play, for example, and when you play it, it will literally just, based on what is the drop down str, it'll just say that. You'll maybe console log it or have a label saying playing this movie. Obviously, you're not playing the movie, but you're just sort of simulating that sort of scenario. And that's it for the drop down button. If you have any questions, feel free to pop me a message. And as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.